NFR.
NFR Extra is a podcast dedicated to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and features icons and personalities that embody the Western lifestyle.
You know, it's that one call that makes it everything worthwhile to have this review system. I'm hoping we never have to use it, honestly. And it's more of a confirmation of calls versus an overturn of calls.
If you were going to be introduced, do you have a song in mind that you're like, man, that one just screams Alan Rheinheimer?
I never even thought about that, honestly. My kids probably have a few theme songs. I don't think we could play those on the air. My crew years ago, they used to say, we got to get out of here before 4 o'clock because at 5 o'clock he starts coming up with new things to work on.
Oh, you're still here?
This is pro rodeo announcer Andy Seiler, and you are listening to NFR Extra.
Well, I can't wait to hear what we're going to experience from Alan Rheinheimer, the boss at the National Finals Rodeo, because there's a new, and I don't think it's a controversial topic. I think it's something that we've all wanted for a long time, just as sports fans who have been spoiled with the TV productions out there. But Alan, tell us a little bit about the birth of the replay system that you guys have set up for the National Finals Rodeo.
First off, it's a review system because it's going to be automatically driven by the by the judges' calls in the arena. So there's no pushing a button to review anything or replay anything. It'll be just reviewed automatically. So once I saw a few things happen a few years ago when we started doing this, and the judges, they're doing a great job. They do a tremendous job under a lot of pressure and giving away a lot of money at the NFR. And I was trying to think of ways to help them with just some backing to give their calls validity and make sure that there's no controversial after their calls and controversy and everything. And you see this all the time, obviously in sports around the replay system, review system that they use in college sports and NFL and anything that goes on with sports now has review. We review in our own sport in the equestrian center, or equestrian discipline of show jumping. But I think that there's so much money on the line. There's just things that have to evolve with time and evolve with the technology that's evolving in this day and age. And we sat down and talked to a few people about doing the review system and how we could do it, and kind of getting some ideas of what we could review and how we could review it. The one thing we didn't want to do was impede anything that was going on at the NFR, the pace of the NFR. But we also wanted to make sure that all the calls were correct in the arena. And that's kind of the idea we started out with, and really excited about this year. Implementing it this year for the first time. We reached out to DV Sports, who is the replay review system for the NCAA football games, basketball games, swimming, all across the board. They do so much with that, and you see their, under the hood at the games, you'll see their logo on the TVs and on the review hoods, and Kim Jackson's just been great. Bring him into our sport with the rodeo was a couple challenges we had, but I got to tell you, they were quick learners, and they taught us a lot about review and how the system works, and what they've developed for the sports industries that they use it for is incredible. It's just unbelievable what we can do with the review system. So we ran it last year behind the scenes. I kind of stuck my neck out and had it put into play. And Kim Jackson with DV Sports was quite helpful in getting that implemented. And Brian Williams at the UNLV, Thomas Macarena, our center. He was integral in getting this together and making this happen. So kudos to Brian to get us up with DV Sports. But the thing we wanted to do was we didn't want to use the production cameras for the review system, because you never know what the guy's looking at through his lens of his camera. He's checking out people in the stands. He's looking at, he gets distracted. It's not the same view from every angle that you can get. So what we did last year during the 10 days of the rodeo, we tweaked it all week long. We figured out where the camera angles needed to be, what we needed, what type of cameras we needed. We were constantly changing them, making things better each night. We'd sit down for about an hour after the event and go through every ride and every run that was ran at the NFR in 2023 and kind of review the different changes we need to make and how we were implementing the system to make it the best we could. We came up with 7 different locations of cameras that we use and the types of cameras that we use that are all stationary cameras that able to zoom in 30 times and then plus the zoom on the screen. And everything is touchscreen that they use. So it's so fast that they can pull screens together. They can, for the spur out rule, for example, the area that they need, they can pull that together with both sides of the chutes. They got angles that they can use. We can come into that and pretty quickly. And most of the calls were, that they could make everything they could see, and they did a great job of making notes for me every night throughout the NFR last year to keep tweaking those cameras and keep tweaking things. But everything was really good by the end. So by the 8th round, we were pretty comfortable with everything that we had in place. And we changed out some cameras in different places. We added a couple cameras in different places just to make sure we could cover everything we needed. It all came together pretty good at the end. So I'm super happy that we did that last year, because we learned a lot about moving into this year and implementing it. There were a lot of skepticism on a few groups that weren't eager about doing it. But after we showed them what we could do and how we could do it, that all went away and they were on board for it. And so, yeah, it's sorry to ramble on about a lot of things, but that was kind of the birth of how it happened, and got together and got into the arena and got approved by the NFRC to be implemented this year. Just super excited about it moving forward.
So before we spell it out and tell everyone all the events that it's going to be used in, what was the biggest hurdle that you feel like you faced bringing Kim and her team from DV Sports over and introducing them to our world?
I think just the understanding of what our needs were and what we were looking for. Terminology from a touchdown being reviewed or a spur out is totally different. So just getting that terminology down of what we were looking for and the different locations of what we needed. But I got to tell you, they were super to work with, and we set up a room that they could use that was secured from everybody, that they could really work through the details and work through their understanding of it as well, so they could understand what our needs were. And with that group last year, like I said, we met every night and went through it and kind of tweaked it every night. So until we got to the 8th performance, when we felt we had it where we needed it to be and everything we could get done. So that was probably the biggest hurdle, just the terminology of what we needed.
That makes sense.
You mean to tell me rodeo is a foreign language?
Some people.
All right. For those of you that are hearing this for the first time, here are the 6 areas that could be up for review. So a contestant competing before breaking the plane of the barrier, a crossfire in the team roping, a livestock infraction in the tie-down roping. You mentioned the spur out, mark out rule for the rough stock events, the barrier not working properly, so a malfunction in all the timed events, and then a contestant nodding or not nodding. So, I mean, obviously the no nod would be the one that would be reviewable.
Right.
When you look at those, Alan, do any of them kind of give you heartburn or pause?
The only one that gives me heartburn is really the no nod. If they, to make sure the contestants understand that this is the only one that's really contestant driven. Everything else is done by a flag called in the arena. So the other 6 or 5 things are done by the flag from the judges' perspective. So it'll be automatically reviewed. This one, the competitor has to know that he can't compete on the animal and then come back and say he did not. So one of the biggest issues I had with a couple people saying that, I did not. How are you going to handle that? What are you going to do? And I said, well, here's the only thing we can do to make it fair for everybody is if you didn't nod, then you have to declare right away. You have to declare in the rough stock in, double grab. You got to do, just make it known that you're not competing on that animal. And you can come back and say, you did not. Same thing at the timed event end, for all the timed event, they have to declare right away. They can't compete on the animal. They can run back and say, I did nod and want to read for it. So they have to declare, and it'll be up to the review official at that point to make it known whether he did nod or didn't nod. So they're taking a chance there as well that it's a definite no nod. It has to be very clear to the review official. So it's that's the only one that's contestant driven is the no nod. But I think it was a good thing. We added that one last in our lineup of things that were reviewable because of the concern that people had about the no nod. So, and I think that official, as everybody understands, goes into it what they need to do. I think it'll be fine.
And that official is by himself with those cameras, correct? Like, I mean, is he in the building, or not that it matters, but or is that person kind of off in a cubicle by themselves?
He's off in a cubicle by himself, and he has all the DVT sports group there with him to help operation if there's an issue with anything. But like I said, last year we ran it for 10 nights and, kept tweaking it. So we got almost all the bugs worked out. It's any kind of system, though. It always has bugs, but we're hoping this year that everything we learned last year, we can hit the ground running and everything will be up and going. But he's by himself. And then we have another group that helps us in the arena that will make the clear call to the announcers and to the Cowboy Channel to overturn it if it's an overturned call or if it stands as it is. Most of those calls, 99.9% of them, were made before the ride or run was even done. So it's very fast. It's very quick. With the system that DV Sports gives us, it's unbelievably fast how quick he can operate it. And the individual that was reviewing last year will be the same one reviewing this year. So he's used to the system, and he will be able to go back in and operate the system like he did last year. So it's I was quite impressed with him. He got to the end, and he was quite the tech. So
essentially, production won't even be touched unless there is an overturn.
That's correct. Yes. So if there's a flag thrown in the arena, it'll be automatically reviewed, and if there's a no change to the call, it just gets the call that's in the arena. The officials' arena call stands. So if it's an overturn to the call that's in the arena due to the review official, then it'll be overturned. And the one thing we're not going to do, we're not going to judge from the review. We're only going to review those calls that are made by the officials in the arena, and just to confirm their calls more than anything. That's what I'm hoping that it does. It confirms everything that they do, and also gives them to the knowledge of knowing that it'll be the right call. But everybody wants to do the right thing.
Oh, for sure. And I don't remember the exact statistic, but I was talking to a judge earlier this season about it, and they've been audited multiple times from professional officiating, organizations, and the accuracy calls. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they're in the very, very high 90s.
Yes.
So I mean, we're talking about a minuscule number of instances.
Yeah, and it's I agree. I think it's a very high number. It's in the high 90s for sure, and it's that one call that makes it everything worthwhile to have this review system. I'm hoping we never have to use it. Honestly, I'm hoping that everything is done properly, and we're and it's more of a confirmation of calls versus an overturn of calls. So I'm hoping that that in a perfect world that's the case, and that the judges, I mean, they're under a lot of pressure. They're giving away $12.5 million worth of money over 10 nights. It's a lot of pressure on them. So in that 8-second call, or that a couple seconds at the spur out end and a few seconds at the other end, it makes a big difference. So we are we're constantly trying to upgrade and be innovative to make it the best we can, and be the standard in what happens at the NFR can happen on. And that's the nice thing about DV Sports. This system can be used in any arena with the technology and the cameras and the technology and the stuff that we've found by tweaking it a little bit. The 7 locations that we optimized for our stationary cameras are all in the, it can be used in any arena, regardless of size. The outdoor arena is a little tougher with the overhead views that we have. But again, there's ways to get those. Sorry, I got a truck backing up in my drive.
The dirt's unloading in Vegas, guys. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's take a quick pause, and we'll be right back. Looking for NFR video content and features? It's all in one place at /Las Vegas NFR. You will find unique features like the top 35 most memorable moments since 1985, the top 60 NFR contestants of all time, NFR champions recaps, custom NFR videos, and much more. You'll also find NFR performance recaps, insider tips, and interviews you might have missed along the way. Once you dive in, you'll find a lot more great content. There's something for all rodeo fans, because legacies and memories are made in Vegas.
So that's the nice thing about DV Sports. They understand it, and I believe there's a couple rodeos going online with them this year as well. So I'm excited to see how they do. But to me, the stationary cameras, or the cage cameras that are constantly where we need them and on point every time, so it's the same view for everybody, the same look for everybody. It's no different. Using production cameras, it's a tough thing to do. You don't get the right angles, you don't get the right timing, you don't get it. There's a lot of things that happen. But everything we've done last year is, I'm excited to have been implemented this year and be pretty accurate.
I have to ask, while we have you, are there any other things that you are most excited for about this year's NFR?
I'm always excited for the new year coming up. It's always interesting to me coming into the NFR and knowing what we are up against with all the competitors coming in, the livestock coming in, everything coming together and making it the best event that we can. We have some great entertainment coming up. We have the new Legacy Night this year that we added on Friday night before the Champions Night. We're excited about that. We have, it's just a host of things that happen. I get excited every year when those first Six Flags hit the arena. It gives you chills for me that we're underway that first night. And we have some new things planned this year that will surprise some fans. And we're hoping that it's going to be just a better performance than last year. The competition is always great, but it's always nice to know. And now with the review system in place, it'll be just an added touch to make it the most prestigious event in rodeo. So we're excited about that.
Do you have a theme song, Alan? I mean, like if you were going to be introduced, I mean, do you have a song in mind that you're like, man, that one just screams Alan Rheinheimer?
I never even thought about that, honestly. No, I haven't really thought about that, honestly. I don't know what my kids probably have a few theme songs for me. I don't think we could play those on the air.
Oh, so
So,
as we're obviously inching closer to the finals, are there things that kind of keep you a little on edge, or man, we really got to get together and get this done? I mean, I'm sure there's always something that comes up, but I'm sure there's also things that kind of give you heartburn leading up to the first performance.
there's always things to do. There's always things that are going on. We have just a tremendous underload that we take on these last few weeks of the NFR. Stock is always, how it comes off the trucks, make sure everything's good. Last year we've had to replace a few animals at the last minute, just due to injuries and whatnot. But most of the times, the thing, right now, what we're doing right now, we're screening all the dirt for the arena. We're going through all the dirt completely through a screen process, and tweaking the ground is always an agonizing feat that we go through. But we try to strive to be the same from day 1 to day 10. And Stanley and Randy work hard on that to make it happen. And Daryl Mosier's there now. And so there's a lot of time and effort put into that people don't realize coming into the NFR. And the amount of work with all the group, setting up the housing to, we're putting on a little city there at the Thomas Mack Center. And it's quite an undertaking. But knowing that the group that we have that's been there, they understand the job, we're all there for the same reason. It gives me a little bit of peace of mind that I don't have to stay up all night and worry about things as much, because we do have such a great team.
When do you actually arrive to stay in Vegas?
I go out on the 24th, arrive on that Monday or that Sunday morning, I'm sorry, and we start work on Monday morning. And we're there throughout the Thanksgiving week, and we start setting up on Saturday night, 3:00 Sunday morning, actually.
So your turkey sandwich is on the go. It's not.
It was nice last year. I got to go spend Thanksgiving with my family and then come out. But with the way that things fall this year, they're used to it. They still have fun without me. So we have a good time. But yeah, no, we're there from the 24th to the 18th. We're there quite a long time.
It's not just a 10-day event, whether people think so or not. It's quite crazy how much time it takes.
No, they started on November 15th last year, or December 15th last year, prepping for this year.
How much sleep do you get on a daily basis, if any?
I'm not much of a sleeper, honestly. My wife always drives. She drives. I drive her crazy, actually, because I'm always up early, but I take naps. I can take a nap, 5-minute nap, and be good for hours. So at the NFR, there's a lot of long hours. We're there I go through this dock at 5:30 in the morning, and then we're there till 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So there's not a lot of sleep there, but it's good though. I don't require a lot of sleep. I probably should get more sleep, and it'd be probably healthier for me. But
So
I never really. My dad always was the same way. He worked 24 hours a day. It doesn't matter. My crew years ago, they used to say, "We got to get out of here before 4 o'clock, because at 5 o'clock he starts coming up with new things to work on." So,
Oh, you're still here? Oh, you're not doing anything? Let's find you a job. Here, there's plenty to do.
You'll find you something to do. But everything's a lot of work, a lot of stuff goes into it, but a great team.
with all of your experience in the horse world, outside of rodeo, you were talking to us before we started the interview about how much you appreciate Charlie Daniels, and obviously in our world we all do. But outside of rodeo, has there ever been kind of a pinch me moment that you got to meet someone at an equestrian event that you were like, wow, I'm getting to do something that a lot of other people will never get a chance to experience?
You know, I got to say, I can't think of one thing off the top of my head. I'm not a starstruck person. I don't look for that moment if I meet somebody, I've always treated everybody the same. Doesn't matter whether the president of the United States or but I guess in my lifetime, I met some great people, and the rodeos opened up a lot of doors for me as well. But we're all human beings. I don't get really starstruck about meeting people. So that probably the most starstruck I could say. I shouldn't say I'm not starstruck. Medal of Honors that we do in Vegas, that gives me chills. And I can say that one time I was sitting in Charleston, South Carolina, and it's the 4th of July weekend. We're doing a horse show down there on the beach, and I'm watching the news, and Ray Tanner, the guy that works at the park, is on the news and being interviewed by Dana Perino. And I'm like, what is Ray doing on the TV at the Yorktown? And he comes out to the horse center that afternoon, and I'm talking to him. Well, he was part of the Idrang Valley battle that they did the movie We Were Soldiers.
Right.
And they have a reunion every year. So I immediately went, and I guess I was starstruck over that because that just amazed me. I didn't know this guy, and he was just humble as he could be. And I went out and bought the book, bought the movie, did everything. And he took that book, and it was one of the last books that was signed by Colonel Moore before he passed away. Was that book about We Were Soldiers and Young. So that's pretty cool. That's the book behind me over here on the left. So I'm pretty proud of that book. I'm pretty proud of that group. They're amazing individuals. Anybody in the Medal of Honors, though, it's incredible to hear their story and what they've sacrificed for our country. So that humbles me quite a bit to know that they're accept our invitations to come to the route. And this year we have some great stuff for the military night. There's some individuals that are just going to knock people's socks off. They're really, really unbelievable stories about. We did military night on D-Day this year, and we have some great individuals that are coming this year. So we're excited to have them with us.
Well, Alan, the National Finals Rodeo is privileged to have you as part of their team and leading everything that they do. And I can't wait to see what you guys roll out for this year. I know it's something that a lot of people circle on their calendar each and every December. But keep up the good work, and thank you for kind of laying all this out for us, because there's been a lot of people asking about the review system. So we appreciate you making the time to hang out with us here on NFR Extra with your busy schedule.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to explain the review system, and it's the privilege is all mine to be in this position, and hopefully they continue on having me and continue on with the NFR, because I think it's just a great success and a great event, and everybody I talk to is excited about it. So it's a privilege of mine to be the position I am. So thank you for everything.
Want to experience more of the NFR? Then visit nfrexperience.com. And we invite you to subscribe to NFR Extra on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you're listening right now. If you like what you've heard on NFR Extra, we would love it if you gave us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe.